This series, which is actually 10 exhibitions, will showcase a variety of female artists from different periods and with different voices, but with the common theme of recognizing feminism as a vehicle for social change. Catherine Morris is the curator for the Sackler Center.
The real project of the Sackler Center is to think about how we view the world through the lens of feminism. Feminism is one of the most important art historical movements of the last 50 years. And what does that mean? And how does it impact the way we look at everything? In this museum, everything. Not just contemporary art, but Egyptian art, or 18th century American art, or Native American art. So it offers us a lot of opportunities to just think about how we look.
And A Year of Yes is doing just that, by featuring renowned and trailblazing women artists, along with lesser-known ones. One of the prouder pieces housed at the Sackler Center is Judy Chicago's controversial work, The Dinner Party.
It absolutely has a history that includes charges of obscenity and a lot of, I think, fear and a lot of resistance to the idea of women taking their place at the table. And I think what's amazing is you walk through history when you walk around the dinner party. And that's a very different experience than reading a book. So if Judy Chicago's work represents one of the most important intellectual contributions that feminism has made to the 20th century, which is something we call revisionism, rewriting history, Beverly Buchanan, Ruins and Rituals, the exhibition we have open now, is a really important example of revising history, in my opinion. Beverly had a lifetime experience with vernacular Southern architecture. So the depth of history and personal attachment that comes through in her later sculptures of shacks is very much based on her experience as a child and her experience as an adult after having a remarkable career in the art world in New York, moving back to Georgia, and really exploring vernacular Southern architecture and thinking about it, I think, not just as homes, but also as sites for history, places where people lived, places where stories unfolded, places that needed to be commemorated.
A Year of Yes can be described as a maze, where at every turn there are multiple ways to understand and visually experience feminism.
If Beverly Buchanan represents revisionist history, bringing a woman's very important story back into the history, we have other examples of exhibition that kind of push on feminism in some interesting ways. We have Marilyn Minter, Pretty Dirty. Marilyn is an artist who has called herself a feminist always, and yet she's an artist who has experienced some criticism because of her pro-sex stances in her work. And then we have an interesting take on Georgia O'Keeffe, an exhibition that really looks at how she fashioned her own identity in the course of her career.
While primarily defined as a modern movement, feminism's roots are far-reaching. We learn that ancient Egypt played a prominent role, with some surprises.
We have a wonderful exhibition that exposes some previously flawed thinking about how pronouns were used in tombs in ancient Egypt. Now it's understood women had to change their gender in order to make it into the afterlife in ancient Egypt. And that's a fascinating story to be told today and to think about today.
There's also the reminder that feminism was not a one-size-fits-all movement, and it emerged differently in communities of color.
We have a wonderful exhibition, We Wanted a Revolution, Black Radical Women, 1965 to 1985, that really explores the emergence of feminism within the context of the Black Power movement and all the other civil rights movements happening in the 1970s, including feminism. Lorraine Hansberry has a great quote. She was interviewed by Studs Terkel, and she said, "In every oppressed group, the women are twice oppressed, and those who are twice oppressed become twice militant."
A Year of Yes continues through early 2018.